نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. So our next lesson, we are going to discuss the pronouns, ضمائر, which we have already done before. In the book, they just would go over some of the further types and details of pronoun. Pronoun, as you are aware, is a word that replaces the noun. And it can be first person, or second person, or third person. And in Arabic, we go with third person first and then second and first person, just for simplicity, really, because the third person past forms of future forms of verbs would help us know what is the true root, what are the true root letters of a verb. So kataba, as opposed to if you started off with katabtu, so then you would need to find out what are the three root letters. So it's traditional to start off with the third person singular masculine form. So carry on with that, they just apply the same rule. The third person first, and the second person and the third person in that order. So huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antum, antum, anti, antum, antunna, ana, nahnu, you know them. There are 14 pronouns which are marfu'. The pronouns are munfasil, which is in this case, which is that it is separated from the word. It is not connected to any word. And there are muttasil as well, certain pronouns which are attached to either a verb or a noun. So, for example, there will be attached nominative or, accusative or genitive or detached, depending on what are the possibilities there. So there are certain which are used in Arabic, certain which are not. We covered that in a minute. Before that, they mention, since dhamair are mabniyat, they are indeclinable. They do not show any change to the last letter. So they are from the mabniyat, mabni. That is why they are in the state of marfu', mansub, and majroor, as any noun would be. But mahallan means the place is that of a marfu state, and the noun is actually in that state, except that we cannot see it because the word is indeclinable. It is mabni. It is not going to show you that. So pronoun are the type of mabniyat. So they would not show any i'rab. So would you rather say they are mahallan marfu or mahallan mansub or mahallan majroor, but remain the same though. Okay. Mansub and marfu are found in both muttasil and munfasil, whereas majroor form is only found in muttasil form. So it makes it 5 categories. So this is what it is. So a dhamir, a pronoun which is marfu and muttasil, it is found in the verbs. So kataba, and you know there is a huwa dhamir hidden inside, which is the doer of that action. Kataba means he wrote. You do not need to see huwa kataba. You rather say kataba, and that is a full sentence. A verb in Arabic is a full sentence. It gives you the time, it gives you the verb itself, the action, and also the doer. So kataba means huwa kataba, that third person singular male has he wrote. Sami'u, they all. So there's plural form there. So that's the doer. Hum, them is the doer of them. They heard. Abadana, those women, all of them, plural form of women. Abadana, they all worshipped. So this is a pronoun hiding inside the verb, and that's the doer, and it is marfu' because it is doer, and it is muttasil because it is found within the word or attached to the word. Munfasil is the famous one, huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna. That is munfasil. Munfasil means this is separated. It is not attached to a word before or after it. They're written separately. Mansub, again, at the end of any verb, you have a dhamir, which is always a maf'ul of that verb. So allama, so there is a verb there, which is to teach, And the doer there, third person singular, is the doer. He taught who? Him. That is the object of that action. So this is mansoob. Why? Because it is maf'ul. Teaching is being done by someone to someone else. That someone else is the who, is the object of that action. So they are called mansoob because they're maf'ul, and they're muttasil because it is attached to allamahu. Allamtuka, I taught you. So you are object of the ilm. The doer is the teacher. Okay, I in this case. Allamtu, I. Allamna, we. Allam, na as a noon with fatha, they're all female. And munfasil, mansub munfasil is only one form. Iyahu and iyaka, it goes all the way. Iyana, iyaha, iyakum. So this is iyaka. This is mansub and munfasil because it is separated. Iya is separate and ka, who, they could keep changing these pronouns. And majroor, it is always attached to a harf jar or a noun. Lahu, alaykum, lana, kitabuhu, his book. Mudaf, mudaf ilayh is majroor, and harf jar and jar majroor together is, they're always in majroor state. So that's why this is muttasil in majroor state. So these are the 5 possibilities of damair. Generally, we try to use zamir muttasil. And when we can't, then we can use munfasil, or sometimes to show the emphasis. There is a concept of zamir bariz and mustatir. Bariz, something which is been manifesting itself, showing, appearing. And sometimes they're not showing themselves, they are hiding. So munfasil are used where you cannot use zamir muttasil. For example, you cannot start a sentence with zamir muttasil. You have to have a zamir munfasil for jumla ismiya. So you can't say rajulun and a zamir before it. How would you say huwa rajulun, mubtada khabar, huwa rajulun? So yes. And sometimes for emphasis, dhahabta, you went. But you want to say, no, no, you did go. You want to emphasize it. So dhahabta anta. Likewise, mansu a'taytuka, I gave it to you. I gave you. So iyaka, like emphasizing, saying, no, no, I definitely gave it to you. That's why we say iyaka na'budu. Only you do we worship. You alone do we worship. Iyaka. Otherwise, we could have said na'buduka, we worship you. But the emphasis is with iyaka when you use that as a separate and also in the beginning. So the damair marfu'a muttasila, they're of 2 types. Bariz or mustatir. Bariz, visible. Mustatir, hidden, concealed, invisible. So look at that. So katabtu, you could see that ta at the end, tu, in madhi form. Katabna, again, these are the doers, these are the fa'il, these are the damair. And you can see them. When you can see them, they are called zamir bariz. Taktubani, alif. Obviously, noon is that of the i'rabi, noon of i'rab. This alif is the tathniya. And u is jama, and noon is i'rabi again. That's why they get dropped. Mustatir kataba. So there's huwa hidden inside, you can't see it. Katabat, there's hiya inside, which you can't see. So these 2, the third person singular, male and female, masculine and feminine, these are the 2 verb forms where you would have huwa or hiya hidden, and they are the dhamir mustatir. Rest are dhamir bariz in madi and in mudari both. There's a noon al-wiqaya. Noon al-wiqaya. Wiqaya means to protect, to save. And this is normally used if you wanted to use a first person pronoun, dhamir of ya mutakallim. Because if you do not, then the i'rab would be gone on the last letter of the word. So you just put a noon to save that. This is called noon wiqaya, because noon of protection, because it protects the end of the word from any change. The example would clarify that. For example, if you wanted to say, someone taught me, how would you say? Allama, he, that person, taught me. Allama, if you just say allama and ya, allamai, ya would dictate that you should put a kasra, allami, and allami, and then they would change the haraka on meme. Meme is from those three root letters, which are mabni. Maadi is mabni. You can't change that. It dictates that it has to be kept allama. And then with ya, it's very difficult to pronounce. So you bring a noon and give kasra to that, because kasra is a demand of ya mutakallim. So allama ni, and plural allamuni, yuallimuni, yuallimani, tuallimuni, allimi, amr becomes allimni. So yuallimunani, yuallimanini, and allimini. So that all of that yas dictate a kasra before it, and you can't have that, otherwise it would confuse the word. So you bring extra noon and give kasra to that noon. This noon is called noonul wiqaya. There's many examples of that in the Quran. They do not use that. You use this one. Likewise, harf. Some of the huruf would need that noonul wiqaya as well. So min and chotiya. You can't say min and ya, sakin noon, sakin ya. How would you say it? Min ni. So you just put extra noon there and make it minni, anni, innani, lakinnani, laytani, ka'annani. But with la'alla, there's exception. Arabs use it rather than la'allani, they say la'alli. La'allana, yes. La'alli, you just use la'alli. Now, another dhamir is dhamir al-shan. Dhamir al-shan is when you start a sentence with a dhamir where you're trying to make a new statement and you say, by the way, now the state is such, behold, something to give the, a bit of magnificence to that first statement, getting some attention of people. Baat ye hai ke, as we say in Urdu, shan ye hai ke, so dhamir shan, or dhamir qissa for feminine. So huwa and hiya, they are the only ones which are used. So for example, huwa Allahu ahad. Although if you say Allahu ahad, Allah is one, that would be enough. But say huwa Allahu ahad. Huwa, qul, say, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, huwa, he, Allahu, Allah ahad. You do not translate this huwa generally. This is there to show the respect, the honor. The matter is that Allah is alone, is one. فإنها, likewise, لا تعمل أبصار ولكن تعمل قلوب التي في الصدور. The matter is that the eyes do not become blind, but the hearts do so as well. Dhamir al-shan. Okay. That is why Dhamir al-fasil, that's another dhamir. Sometimes there's a gap and you just put a dhamir in between. You remember, normally for mubtada and khabar, mubtada should be ma'rifa and nakira should be khabar. Khabar should be nakira. If you want to make that khabar into ma'rifa as well, you bring a dhamir in between, just to make sure that it doesn't get confused. This is called dhamir fasil. Inna Allah ar-Razzaq. So Inna Allah ar-Razzaq. Both are ma'rifa. So it would be difficult for some time to identify. It could be Allah the provider or Allah is the provider. Is it mawsuf sifa or is it complete sentence? To remove that confusion, you bring about the dhamir fasil, which is huwa. Allahu huwa ar-Razzaq, or Inna Allaha huwa ar-Razzaq. Ulaika al-muflihun or ulaika humul muflihun. So ulaika al-muflihun could mean these successful are what? There has to be something after that, mawsuf sifa. No, rather you're saying these are the successful ones. So humul muflihun, hum, extra. If the dhamir is removed from the middle, it will become murakkab tawsifi, an adjectival phrase, and the meaning will change. Therefore, it is called dhamir fasil, a pronoun that distinguishes between the khabar and the sifa. Similarly, in place of khabar, if there is elative tafdeel, there too, a dhamir is inserted. Kana hamidun huwa afdalu min Khalid. Kana hamidun afdalu min Khalid. You can use huwa in between. Now, they ask you to change the mudari to madi. Ana ukrimu ad-dayfa. Akrama yukrimu. It was mudari. So, madi would be akramtu ad-dayfa. Nahnu nal'abu bil-kura. We play with kura, with ball. Nahnu la'ibna. Anti tunazzifin al-hujra. You clean the room. Anti nazzafti. Madi. Al-hujra. You did. أنتما تنصران المظلوم. You both helped the oppressed. أنتما نصرتما المظلوم. هن يحببن المدرسة. They both love these women. They all love the madrasa. هن أحببن المدرسة. هم يرحمون اليتامى. They showed mercy to the poor. They show. هم رحموا. They showed. And reverse. أعطيتك كتابا. I gave you a book. أعطيك. I will give you a book. Or I do give a book. وهبتني ساعة. You, O lady, gave me a watch. وهبتني. وهب يهب. تهبيني. تهبيني ساعة. You're giving me a watch, or you just are giving me a watch. منحتني مقلمة. You have gifted me a miqlama, where you put the qalam. تمنحني مقلمة. You are doing it, or you will do it. رجعنا إلى المنزل. We return to the house. نرجع. We will return إلى المنزل. هي لعبت بالكرة. She played with ball. هي تلعب. She is playing. سافرنا إلى دهلي. These ladies traveled. يسافرنا. They will travel. Okay, now Quranic ayat. If yurikahum, remember when yuri, ara yuri, ka, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed you to them. So yuri ka hum. So yuri, there is zamir mustatar, which is marfu' and muttasil, who's the doer, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he ka showed you. When he showed you, whom, them, those people, mean the disbelievers. And the doer of that, yuri, is Allah, which is next to the word. So remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed you them, fi manamika, in your dream, showed you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in your dream, qalilan, less, walau, or, and if, araka, when he showed, if, ara, he showed, ka, you, whom, them, if he showed you, them being kathiran, a lot, lafashiltum, you would have been shaken, oh, believers. فأنزلنا, so we sent من السماء, from sky, ماء, water, فأسقيناكم, so we gave you what? We gave you أسقيناكم, you, who? This water. We gave you to drink this water. قلنا, we said, لا تخف, don't worry, don't fear. إنك أنت الأعلى, you are the upright, you are the top one, you above them, you overwhelm them, you'll be victorious over them. قال, he said, يا قومي, oh my people. This يا قومي, this ya at the end. How do we know? Because there's kasra on the meme. Otherwise, would have been ya qawmu, O people. This is ya qawmi, O my people. And you drop that ya mutakallim as eloquence. Laysa bi dalala. Not, dalala is not with me. Misguidance is not with me. Walakinni, rather, I am Rasul, the prophet. I am a prophet. Min Rabbil Alameen, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the Lord of the universes, worlds. Wala tamshi, do not walk fil ard, in the earth, marahan, in the state of arrogance. وَإِنَّ لَكَ مَوْعِدًا لَن تُخْلَفَهُ. Indeed, for you is a maw'id, a promise, لَن تُخْلَفَهُ, which would not be, you would not be betrayed with that. Means like you would not be not given that promise. You will be given that promise. قُلْ أُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ أَنَّهُ اسْتَمَعَ نَفَرٌ مِّنَ الْجِنِّ. Say, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, أُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ, it has been revealed to me, أنه indeed he, who, these people, استمع, this is Amir Shan, استمع نفر من الجن, a group of, استمع نفر من الجن, a group from the jinn heard, from the jinn heard, أنه, what did they hear? They heard the Quran, and then they said, فقالوا, they said, إنا سمعنا قرآنا عجبا. Indeed, we heard a Quran which is strange, astonishing, surprising. يهدي, it guides إلى الرشد, to the guidance. فآمنا به, so we believed in it. وأنه, and indeed, كان يقول سفيهنا, the silly ones of us used to say, على الله, upon Allah, شططا, something wrong, fake things. وأنه كان رجال من الإنس يعوذون برجال من الجن, and that the men from the jinn used to seek refuge from the men of the jinns, male of the jinns. إنه من يأتي ربه مجرما فإن له جهنم. Indeed, Amir Shan again, whoever comes to his Lord as a mujrim, as a criminal, فإن له جهنم, so indeed for him is Jahannam. ولا تقتلوا أولادكم من إملاق, do not kill your children من إملاق, fearing the إملاق. إملاق means to be poor or poverty. فإيايا, and indeed to me, only from me, farhabun, you fear, you become like, have fear of me only. ويقول, and they said, who? Al-Kafir, the Kafir would say, يا ليتني, oh my, I wish, كنت ترابا, I was ترابا, dust, earth, sand. يا ربي, oh my Lord, ما زال لطف منك يشملني. Your lutf, your favors from you continue, and it يشملني, it covers me, wraps me. وقد تجدد بي ما أنت تعلم, and you keep renewing with me whatever you know. فاصرف عني ما عودتني كرما. So ignore from me means excuse me out of karam, out of your mercy. كما عودتني, as you have made me used to of. فمن سواك لهذا العبد يرحمه. So who is other than you, O my Lord, who could this slave expect to get rahmat from? Who is going to show mercy to this slave other than you, O my Lord, O Allah? Inshallah, we leave that there. Inshallah, we see you next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.